often think we've seen it all, but the Earth has a way of proving us wrong. Beneath the radar of modern travel, there are landscapes so alien and structures so defying that they feel like glitches in our reality. Imagine a monastery clinging to a vertical cliff in the clouds, or a rose-colored lake in Spain that looks like a dream captured in salt. This isn't just travel. It's a deep dive into the planet's most guarded mysteries. We're exploring the raw power of moving dunes, the silent echoes of ancient Pakistani forts, and the terrifying depths of the world's largest sinkholes. This is the story of our world told through its most remote and breathtaking anomalies. If you have a hunger for the extraordinary, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join us as we unlock these hidden wonders. The journey starts right here, right now. Mount Yasur, Vanuatu. Mount Yasur captures every gaze as one of the rare volcanoes on our planet to have remained in a state of continuous eruption for over 800 years. The most incredible part is that you can observe this spectacle in total safety from the very edge of the crater, which spans approximately 335 meters in width. Its 3 active vents release powerful bursts of pressure that travel at speeds exceeding 5 meters per second. The molten lava reaches staggering temperatures of 1,150 degrees Celsius, bursting into vivid red bubbles that reveal the churning magma beneath, without forming large rivers of fire. The surrounding ground is carpeted in a 30-centimeter layer of volcanic ash, creating a shifting gray landscape that evolves with every fresh explosion. In its constant state of activity, it stands as a living monument to the eternal cycle of creation and destruction of our beloved Earth. To feel the burning pulse of the world beneath your feet is a memory that never fades. Pico Cão Grande, Sao Tome, and Principe. Pico Cão Grande is a monumental stone tower that soars 663 meters into the sky with a slope of nearly 90 degrees, making it one of the steepest volcanic plugs on the globe. It was originally formed deep within a volcano and remained standing long after the exterior walls were stripped away by millions of years of erosion. At its base, one finds unique insect populations that exist only within a few meters of the rock face, serving as a textbook example of how life evolves in total isolation. For the modern traveler, this spire offers a vertical perspective so grand it feels surreal, yet it stands with undeniable power in the physical world. It is a stone titan that seems to watch over the emerald jungle from its unreachable heights. A stone needle attempting to stitch the clouds to the earth itself. Jericoacoara, Brazil. Jericoacoara welcomes you with a seamless blend of sand and persistent winds, where massive white dunes migrate several meters every single year. The sand creates a brilliant, shimmering surface that makes the region feel like a pristine desert sitting right at the edge of the ocean. One of its most magical moments occurs during the rainy season, when temporary freshwater lagoons form between the dunes, lasting only a few months before vanishing into the heat. With more than 300 days of sunshine annually, the sea glows with intense, crystal clear colors. Researchers have even utilized its fine grains and unique lighting to simulate the terrains of other planets. It is a landscape in constant motion, where the wind and water tirelessly redraw a wild and soulful stage. Here, the wind sketches paths in the sand that the tide eventually whispers away. The enchanted city of Cuenca, Spain. The enchanted city of Cuenca was carved from limestone dating back approximately 100 million years, where acidic rainfall widened ancient fissures to create a labyrinth of channels, caves, and bizarre columns. Hundreds of tiny holes interconnect in vast networks, displaying a rate of erosion of only a few millimeters every century. During the 19th century, geologists heralded this site as a perfect model for studying the natural weathering of rock. The landscape is defined by massive mushroom-shaped blocks and boulders balanced on bases so narrow it seems impossible for them to remain still. Its unique texture and natural hues have even been used in scientific studies to simulate the surface of Mars. It serves as a testament to the power of time and how nature crafts forms that defy our standard logic. Rocks that play at being skyscrapers in a city where no one resides. Fuerteventura Desert, Spain. Fuerteventura is the oldest of the Canary Islands, born from intense volcanic activity more than 20 million years ago. Its arid landscape and sweeping sand dunes create a scene that feels almost otherworldly. Traditional homes here utilize volcanic stone and white lime to regulate the heat, demonstrating how people have adapted to this harsh climate over many generations. Without natural forests to block the view, you are granted a 360-degree vista that makes the entire island look like a giant map of the Earth's crust. Some specialized plants grow directly atop the hot basalt thanks to incredibly deep root systems. Visitors often claim that walking across these dunes is one of the most memorable experiences one can find in this Atlantic desert. a desert that embraces the sea while whispering ancient secrets. Kelimutu, Indonesia. Kelimutu is breathtaking because its summit, sitting at 1,639 meters, houses 3 volcanic lakes that constantly shift in color. It is one of the rarest geological sites on the planet. Each lake sits within a crater 50 meters deep and contains a unique mix of minerals that cause the water to transition from turquoise blue to deep red or dark green with startling speed. The water is highly acidic, showcasing intense reactions between volcanic minerals and subterranean gases. The surrounding rock is layered with colors that change according to atmospheric conditions. The morning warmth blends with the sunlight, causing the 3 lakes to glow with unpredictable visual effects. It is a masterclass in how the Earth's chemistry can create natural art. Gyumri Range, Russia. The Gyumri Range forms a dramatic stone frame around the Dagestan Plateau. A massive canyon stretches for 53 kilometers and drops more than 1,900 meters, creating a vertical and rare natural face. The turquoise waters at the bottom contrast sharply against the dry gray rock of the slopes, producing a landscape that feels alien yet beautiful. In the 19th century, numerous military campaigns used the steep terrain and deep cuts of this range as a natural defensive fortress. These layers of geology and history combined give Gyumri a lasting value and a hallowed place in the region. It is the raw power of the mountain, protecting the heritage of its people. Sviazhsk, Russia. Sviazhsk is an ancient island city in Russia, famous for having been built and fortified in a mere 28 days during the year 1551. The soil beneath the town keeps the timber foundations stable against the harsh climate, while the humidity creates a thick, ethereal mist in the mornings. Many of the wooden structures are over 450 years old and were constructed without the use of metal nails, allowing the wood to breathe and shift with the seasons without fracturing. From a distance, the village looks like a monolithic block of architecture surrounded by frigid waters. In winter, the snow transforms it into a white fortress adrift. Today, visiting is like stepping into another layer of time, where silence and history remain alive in every street. An island where the past sails upon the waters of an eternal present. Giolla Lagoon, Greece. The Giolla Lagoon is a natural rock pool carved next to the Aegean Sea, formed over roughly 4,000 years and situated just a few meters from the open ocean. Its high limestone walls and shimmering surfaces create colors that shift from pale azure to deep cobalt, depending on the sun's position. Swimming near the edge of the rock reveals geological layers that look like the pages of an ancient coastal record. During heavy swells, the water level can rise nearly 30 centimeters, making the lagoon appear as if it is ascending. Locals consider it a tranquil sanctuary because the water remains still even when the outer waves are crashing. To visit Giolla is to walk upon sun-warmed limestone and feel the absolute purity of the natural world. Namaqualand, South Africa. Namaqualand spans more than 50,000 square kilometers in South Africa, where a brutal desert suddenly transforms into a vivid explosion of blossoms. It is the only desert on Earth recognized for its immense biodiversity, showing how plants adapt to the total absence of water. More than 6,000 plant species reveal a biological system that has been perfected over millions of years. This richness proves that the location is not just a seasonal beauty, but a record of how nature resists all odds. Visiting Namaqualand allows you to walk through fields of flowers that appear from nowhere and feel how life always finds a way forward, even in the driest and oldest soils of the African continent. A desert that decides to become a garden once a year. Truly incredible. Wolfe Creek Crater, Australia. From high above, Wolfe Creek looks like a giant cosmic eye imprinted on the red desert, standing as one of the most impressive impact sites in Australia. This crater was formed when an iron meteorite weighing thousands of tons struck the Earth 120,000 years ago. The crater measures nearly 800 meters across, though the floor we see today is filled with sand and sediment accumulated over ages. Beneath that surface lies a much deeper structure, proving that the initial impact was far more potent than what is visible now. It is one of the few places where actual fragments of the meteorite have been recovered. Despite its clear geometry, it only caught the attention of the scientific community in the middle of the last century. A reminder that the sky sometimes strikes with immense force. Sumela Monastery, Turkey. The Sumela Monastery creates immediate awe due to its position clinging to a sheer cliff that rises hundreds of meters above the valley floor. Rooms, staircases, and corridors carved directly into solid rock demonstrate a precision that seems impossible in such rugged terrain. Clouds often sweep across the stone walls, causing them to change color with the weather, as if the monastery itself were morphing with the mountain. Standing in its courtyard, you feel the overwhelming height and the vast open space below, creating a mixture of trepidation and exhilaration. The high altitude makes you feel detached from the world below, turning the journey upward into an experience that pushes you beyond your normal limits. To pray here is to be one step closer to touching the clouds. Blue Lake, Russia, Kabardino-Balkaria. The Blue Lake, also known as the Great Blue Lake, impresses with its ink blue water and a persistent scent of sulfur. Studies indicate its depth reaches 263 meters, and experts believe it continues downward far beyond what we currently know. The lake has no rivers flowing in or out. All water movement depends on internal subterranean pressure. Local legends suggest that the surface should never be disturbed because the lake connects to sacred chambers hidden deep underground. In the year 2018, a diver descended 200 meters only to find a dark funnel that continued to widen. It is a peerless destination for those seeking the deepest and most mysterious blue imaginable. Colca Canyon, Peru. Colca Canyon makes a staggering impact with a depth exceeding 3,000 meters, creating the sensation that the Earth has been split wide by giant walls. From the rim, the layers of the Earth are displayed in bands of vibrant color, making the entire scene look like an open textbook. The river stones at the bottom prove that an ancient river carved the ground by 2 to 4 millimeters every year, forming a vertical cut deeper than most canyons on the planet. Powerful winds sweep across the rock faces, making you feel as though the very structure of the canyon is breathing. There are more than 120 ancient sites here, showing that humans have inhabited this area for over 3,000 years. Gazing into the depths generates a tension that is never forgotten. To look into the bottom of this abyss is to see the very heart of the world. Valley of the Souls, Bolivia. The Valley of the Souls appears at over 3,600 meters as a stone valley where thousands of slender pillars stretch for kilometers. These formations, ranging from 30 to 70 meters in height, were carved from ancient mud and clay by the relentless wind and rain. The sunlight shifts their surfaces from pale yellow to deep orange, creating the illusion that the valley ignites and cools in a matter of minutes. Strong winds pass through the narrow gaps, producing long echoes that inspired the valley's name. With almost no large trees, everything remains visible, making the scale of the pillars feel so extreme that you lose your sense of normal proportions. It is a landscape that seems to exist beyond the reach of logic. Garni Gorge, Armenia. The Garni Gorge opens up like a mountain hallway where stone columns form a landscape of impossible precision. Ancient lava that cooled millions of years ago formed perfect hexagonal pillars that rise in layers along the cliffs. Inside, you can view columns between 30 and 50 meters tall, resembling natural stone towers. Their dark gray surfaces with blue undertones form a cold wall that contrasts with the soft terrain above. Fissures in the columns serve as a way to study the Earth's movement, as every mark reflects incredibly long geological rhythms. Some clusters of columns curve as if they were bent while still molten, showing patterns rarely seen in other formations of this type across the globe. Stones that appear to have been cut by the hand of a very orderly giant. Diskit Monastery, India. The Diskit Monastery is situated at 3,100 meters, where a cold desert meets the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas. It sits atop a block of stone, pushed upward by the collision of continents millions of years ago. Gray cliffs carved by the wind give the mountain the appearance of a natural fortress emerging from the empty valley. Inside, the stone walls preserve paintings from the 14th century that have survived extreme winters for generations. The region once controlled vital trade routes, making Diskit a spiritual center and a watchtower for centuries. From its courtyard, you look out over an immense and silent valley that contrasts the peace of the prayers with the staggering scale of the world's highest mountains. Xiaojia Tiankeng, China. Xiaojia Tiankeng is known as the deepest sinkhole on Earth, reaching 662 meters, with a mouth spanning 600 meters in width. This structure was formed from limestone over 150 million years old, following a long process of collapse, creating a giant chamber sequestered from the surface. Humidity levels are nearly 100%, allowing mosses and water-loving plants to thrive. The bottom functions as its own independent climate. The trees at the base climb up to 40 meters, forming a dark zone that contrasts with the brilliant surface above. Upon arrival, you experience the sensation of standing on the brink of a massive space that exceeds any expectation you could possibly hold. Pink Lake of Torrevieja, Spain. The Pink Lake impresses with a deep rose-colored expanse that stretches for several kilometers, where the salinity is exceptionally high. Specialized algae and bacteria produce red pigments to survive, turning the lake into a pink mirror visible from high above. Salt levels, much higher than those in the ocean, keep the surface perfectly flat, creating reflections that erase the horizon on calm days. Salt crystals along the shore form crystalline figures created by solar evaporation. Since ancient times, people have looked to the pink hue of the lake to judge the quality of the salt. For the visitor, seeing the lake transition from pink to violet at sunset is a moment that makes you feel as though you are in a different world entirely. A sea of strawberry hues, where the horizon decides to vanish completely. Waimangu Volcanic Valley, New Zealand. Waimangu is considered the youngest volcanic valley ever observed by humans, born following an eruption in the year 1886. Its landscape is just over 130 years old, meaning lakes and streams are still forming and changing this very day. Scalding waters of black green and sulfur yellow, coupled with thick steam, make the valley appear like a giant engine humming beneath the ground. In certain areas, the gas prevents birds from flying low, showing that the surface still connects to profound volcanic forces. Some black streams owe their color to minerals reacting with the intense heat. In the early part of the last century, visitors witnessed boiling water fountains leaping hundreds of meters, proving the entire valley is still in a state of flux. The Earth here is still a temperamental infant that roars and exhales steam. Darawar Fort, Pakistan. This fort rises in the desert as a massive stone barrier composed of 40 rounded bastions that reach 30 meters in height. Its kiln-fired bricks withstand hot winds of up to 100 kilometers per hour and keep the structure intact after centuries of sand erosion. The sun-baked walls reach extreme temperatures, causing the fort to glow with a deep crimson at midday. The design of the wide base and narrow tower disperses wind pressure and keeps the entire defensive ring safe despite the climate. Some ancient bricks still show the fingerprints of those who made them, preserved by the hyper-arid climate. Standing beneath the towers, you feel ancient engineering and history blending into a singular landscape. El Tatio, Chile. El Tatio is found at 4,320 meters as a vast geyser field where the Earth releases its heat into the frigid desert air. This 30 square kilometer zone contains more than 80 active geysers, representing nearly 8% of all those existing in the world. The arc of about 55 meters creates a natural passage toward the sea, where light fades quickly, turning the space into a corridor of dark water. Ancient corals found in the lower layers reveal that the site was part of a massive reef thousands of years ago. When you arrive here, the moment of gazing into the dark and deep center feels like looking directly into the eye of the ocean, blending beauty, mystery, and a tension that is unforgettable. The breath of the earth, rising cold toward an intensely blue sky. Quiver Tree Forest, Namibia. In this forest, more than 250 giant aloe trees rise 6 meters high like golden pillars in the desert. Their hollow trunks store vast amounts of water, allowing them to live for centuries with almost no soil. The silvery bark reflects the late afternoon light, making the forest glow like illuminated stone columns against the red desert sand. Their shallow roots stretch for meters to catch moisture from the air, displaying incredible adaptation in harsh terrain. Ancient peoples used the hollow branches to store their arrows, linking these trees to the very identity of desert life. Under the moon, the bark reflects a pale shimmer, turning the forest into an army of fossils watching over the sand. Trees that appear like silver warriors guarding the silence of the African wilderness. Out of all these incredible spots, which one felt the most unreal to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this documentary. Keep watching our latest content, and I'll catch you in the next travels.